Hello, my name is Sogi Villar.Gg, and I'm joined here with head coach Gorilla from Team Vitality for our live Champions Seoul coverage following the Team Vitality versus Trace Esports group stage matchup. Thank you for accepting the interview today, Gorilla. First off, commiserations on the tough loss. The first question I'd like to ask is regarding taking the stage here in Seoul today. So Champions is the first international event for Kicks and Runner, and Trex and Sender haven't been to an event ever since lock-in. So how did it feel for the team to play on the stage today for Vitality's Champions debut, and do you think as though nerves are kind of noticeable at all amongst the players?
I think in the first map, it was definitely down to a lot of nerves. I said before, we've never been a strong first map team, but I think that the nerves definitely did take over a bit, just in terms of, how we were communicating. I think it was good to, get it out the way, have a good mental reset after map one, which happened, and I think it played a part.
Thank you. Ascent also came as a strong map for both you and Trace. You both have had good records on the map for Split 2. So coming into today, what were some of the preparations that you had in place for the way that Trace plays Ascent?
Mainly, we were playing a heavy focus on their jet player, Kai. He has a history to just walk up and contact in and buy the AWP on attack and defense, and he was definitely a win condition for them, is what we'd noticed. So we put heavy prep into trying to play positions where we would minimize his value. No, didn't work. I'm just kidding. So it was mainly on focusing on where he plays and their main reactions to our stuff.
Thank you. So a similar theme to the beginning of Ascent kind of continued into your attacking half, where Trace found themselves taking many of the opening rounds on their defense, eventually finding their way up 11-6. But you kind of managed to take what seemed like finished business for Trace, and you took it into overtime. So how did Vitality kind of rally back from being at a 5-round deficit and from round 18 and onwards?
It's the good old saying, when you think it's over, it's never over against us. Like Na'Vi learned that the hard way. Heretics did as well when they were on Icebox, when we were 3-11 down. BBL learned it as well pretty quickly. So when you think that you have us down and out, you can never count us out of coming back. So we're very good at that.
Great to hear. So Vitality unfortunately ended up losing in overtime. But despite the loss on Ascent, what were some of the main errors that you encountered that you looked to fix before going into Sunset?
Just in between maps?
Yeah.
Well, Sunset is a very comfortable map for us. We're very good at it, and as it's been shown. So I think it was just okay, guys, that's fine. They played incredibly well on Ascent. Honestly, I said it in the press conference. It's some of the best attack macro that I've seen on Ascent. So resetting onto Sunset, we know it's a weaker map for them. It's a stronger map for us. It should be fairly straightforward, and it was.
And your point about Sunset being a comfortable map definitely showed today. It looked firmly in your hands. You took it 13-7. So do you feel as though, because winning kind of helps bring that confidence, that positivity towards the team, do you feel as though the series could have actually swayed greatly in your favor as map 2 ended?
Oh yeah, 100%. And for map 3 it kind of was as well. It was all on us basically.
Start, right? Trace entered buying with a double Sentinel comp, and they chose to play Deadlock over an agent like Viper. So initially, upon a first glance, do you think the change for Trace kind of helped or hurt your chance at taking buying, at first sight?
You mean Trace's double Sentinel instead of Viper? Did it hurt them?
Yeah.
I think for the most part it did. It made their attack very strong. We used to run the Deadlock quite a lot on Bind, so we kind of knew what they could do with it and how they were going to. And I think it's just down to us pace changing on attack when we didn't need to. We knew that against Deadlock, play slow, you saw, default to break the traps. And then we really just didn't have an answer for them execing on us on defense. So I think in the most part, if they catch us on a different day, we definitely take that map. And for the most part, it's, not having a Viper on Bind hurts teams a lot more than teams that have it.
Right. So the first half of Bind ended dead even at 6-6, but you guys were up 6-1 initially, and then you guys kind of ended up tying it at the half. So what did you kind of discuss before heading into your defense?
We discussed some of the prep because we hard prepped that map. It was a map that we were initially going to pick, but we weren't entirely sold on if they'd run the same comp because they've changed comp every time they played Bind. So we decided to leave it for third map. So we discussed the prep, what they can do on their attack, the weaknesses of running the Deadlock Cypher compared to more traditional comps. So and we were just basically not trying to predict what they'll do, but put ourselves in positions to capitalize on their attack macro.
Right. So you managed to take the second pistol on defense, but however, the subsequent anti-eco kind of resulted in a 50, and then that kind of led to Trace's momentum spiraling really out of control. So like, what mistakes did you notice as the second half progressed, and what mistakes caused things to start going wrong after that eco, basically?
Um, I think we took a lot of solo fights against them when they were basically the only thing they have to initiate is the Sky Dog. The flashes don't really do anything on Sky, so the only thing to really do to really have impact on is the Sky Dog. And against that, they just followed behind it. We basically just gave them too many. The Viper would die in lamps, or we'd give up lamps and give them it for free, or someone would die in hookah like solo. I think we didn't adapt well enough on defense in terms of putting ourselves in positions to be anti-exec every round. We kind of just expected them to play a slower, more thought-out round like they had done on the previous two maps.
And do you think the aforementioned nerve issues about some of the players, do you think that kind of made this problem way worse than it could have been?
Pardon? Sorry?
Do you think like the aforementioned nerve issues for some of the players, do you think that made the issue worse?
Yeah, I think it definitely plays in. I think every game people are nervous. It's competition, right? And at the end of the day, when you're facing a team that is, how do I say it? Like, they're not underdogs at all here. I don't think anyone should be considered underdogs or champs, but they're, people are predicting them to lose.
So on that second,
Sorry, go.
So on that second half, like, was there a kind of moment where you realized that Trace's momentum was kind of unstoppable at that point?
Yeah, I mean, it's after the anti-eco. After, they've basically just been playing fast rounds, and then after the anti-eco, it kind of just, it's every map. If you lose the anti-eco after winning pistol, your economy's awful. The other team's economy is amazing. From that, and then by the time you get a buy, they get ults because they plan, and it just spirals out from there, and it's really hard to come back from it.
Right. But regardless of the loss, how do you view it today, and what are some of your main takeaways from the series as a whole?
Yeah, I think it was a really good experience for everyone, myself included, like where I can improve on my timeouts, and it was some well-needed experience. You need to get your ass whooped once in a while, and we had it here on that last map. So, but I think even though we lost the series, we showed some really good rounds. We showed some really good team play together, and we just have to be better next time.
An experience well needed, because to close off here with your loss today, you're set to go against Talent Esports in the coming days. Do you have any initial thoughts on the matchup?
They play a style again we're not too used to, so it's going to be challenging for us, and we need to prepare well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.